You know those stories of bridges and overpasses collapsing because cities don't take care of them? Well, here's a classic example. Look at all the cracks. Exposed reinforcement. I swear to God, the city of Spokane does not care if it kills a whole bunch of people. Look at that. That is the cabling inside of the concrete that holds it together, rusting away and weakening because the concrete is deteriorated. Bro.
Holy man. I've traveled a lot down roads, many states, many cities, and I'm here to tell you, still to this day, I see that, you know, the spalling of concrete, big chunks of the bridges falling out, you know, and much like new cars nowadays, new bridges are nowhere near capable and lasting as long as what old bridges have, and this in here is going to show new construction falling apart. You know, when you start getting moisture into concrete and it starts rotting and rusting out the rebar in there, that just expands and explodes the concrete. Man, you're not going to believe some of this stuff here that you're going to see. Jeez. You know, never underestimate water. Water will move. I mean, it only takes a little bit of water, even for you to walk into, and you're gone. That hydraulic force from that water can tear down skyscrapers. It just has that much power. It's just unbelievable. Man, can you imagine driving down the road and the bridge disappears in front of you? I mean, it's just gone. I mean, holy crap. Imagine that next time you're driving across the bridge. Just imagine, it's gone. It's went down. I drove across Leo Frigo Bridge in Green Bay minutes before it let loose and dropped down. And you know, you're cruising on down the road, and the obvious should have occurred to me as I was going over the crest of the bridge and then coming over, that it went like that. But that bridge has been in such bad shape at one point in time, where the seams meet together. Every time you hit one, you're going boom, 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 boom. And all those semis are hitting it going boom, boom, boom. And finally, on the other side of the crest, the concrete pylons below the concrete that holds the bridge up let loose minutes before. Man, talk about luck.
This $10 million bridge collapsed after only a week, and it was due to major miscalculations and the engineers also just acting like children during construction, and it ended up causing 6 fatalities. Another thing that jumped out to me right away is there's only one truss going through the center of the bridge. And that's because most truss bridges utilize 2 trusses on both sides of the bridge so that there's a little bit of redundancy. Not having redundancy means that if one member fails, the bridge will collapse like a domino effect starting from where that member failed because there's nothing else there to hold it up. Designing without redundancy is never recommended, but when it is done, the engineers are actually required to use extra factors of safety to make sure that the bridge is designed for well over capacity. And those factors of safety were actually ignored by the FIG engineers. Now, as I said before, their miscalculations weren't actually the only reason for the failure of this bridge. In the last few images, I've had the point of failure highlighted, which was this 11 to 12 nodal region in the bridge, and it was actually showing major cracks and major signs that it was going to fail before it actually did. Here we can see some of the cracks in diagonal member 11, and the FIG engineers actually actually ruled these cracks as non-structural and to just continue on with construction. I think anyone would have been scared just looking at these cracks, and actually in Florida, we're supposed to rule cracks as structural if they're over ½ inch wide. After being pressed on these cracks a little bit more, the FIG engineers advised to retension the reinforcement and continue on with construction. And when the construction workers went to go retension that reinforcement as the FIG engineers advised is when the bridge actually collapsed.
Jeez. You know, what happened to pride in building? Just forget about the fanciness. Boy, a million things, you know, I could say here. They completely redid the whole interstate and highway and main highway up in a city up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Before, you could travel down I-43, get off on Highway 41, 141, and you could get onto Velp Avenue anyway, which way you wanted. But no. Now you got the highway crisscrossing each other in order to get northbound or southbound. There is no more off-ramp to get onto Velp because it's this huge. Just go up into the sky and come back down. What was the sense in that? It was just fine before. You went underneath the highway, you came back up, and then you go left or right onto Velp or keep on going southbound on the main highway. And of course, they had to stop construction at some point because these huge concrete pylons, these huge concrete holders were cracking. God, I'm so sick and tired of our government and contractors just effing us as a taxpayer. And then on top of that, they've got to add all these stupid concrete murals on the side of the bridge and underneath the underpasses of all kinds of decorations. Who's going to pay for that repairs in 10, 20 years? And how much is it going to cost? God, no.
Whoa, it's cracking. Go. Watch the rail. Oh my God, look at that.
You know, you're not safe anymore with modern engineering. They are just guessing in some cases, you'd swear. And I've seen this before. Glass bridges, glass walking bridges. There's more than one. Why? It's not safe. It won't last the test of time. Jeez. Oh, man.
Get out of the way. Deep wind. Oh, God. Deep wind. There went the 107 bridge.
Yeah, never underestimate water. She'll carry away anything that it's in its way. Brand new bridge construction, and it failed. Brand spanking, they weren't even finished yet, and the damn thing failed. Quit trying to cut corners. You know, they set aside money for road construction and bridges, supposedly, that, you know, the Somalians or whoever else in California hasn't stole from us. And then they want to cheapen it up. Build something that's going to last 100 years. That should be the focus, right there. That is the focus. Build me a bridge that'll last 100 years. Period, exclamation mark. Build me a road that will last 50 years. It would save money in the long run. Boy, common sense has just gone down the toilet in America.
Well, this is the moment that part of a bridge in China's southwest came crashing down just months after opening. Local authorities had closed the bridge that connects neighbouring regions due to cracks appearing and a shift in the surrounding terrain. Thankfully, there are no reports of any casualties.
You know, it's like the space shuttle, okay? Remember the space shuttle? If not, go look it up, you know, AI it, whatever. They built a specific amount of space shuttles. The space shuttles were only supposed to go into the edge of outer space. They never went into outer space. They never went beyond Earth, okay, with a space shuttle. But they were only supposed to go so many times. And then NASA didn't have any money, so they brought somebody in to check them out and say, oh yeah, they'll go again. And then NASA didn't have hardly any money actually anymore that was given from the government because they were pissing it away on other crap. And they brought somebody else in again to certify it. Oh yeah, oh sure, it's gonna go for another umpteen times up into outer space. And then what happens? Takes off, blows up in the air. It's a lot of stress on that equipment. A bridge every day. The ton of stress of gravity pushing down and then stuff coming across it with weight and bouncing on it.
That is video of what appears to be a work crew in the city of Chesapeake hosing down the Great Bridge Wednesday afternoon to try to keep the joints cool so they don't expand too much in the heat and cause the bridge to get stuck like it did on Tuesday.
We noticed after about 20 minutes that the bell was still ringing, so we were curious as to why it hadn't gone down yet.
I'm News 3 reporter Colter Enstad talking to two business employees who had a front row seat to that situation on Tuesday.
Right away we went out there and started making a video, and that must felt really good.
Yeah, days of social media. We're out there taking a video. Common sense, okay? Who is the engineering company? They should be immediately barred from doing any more engineering work ever again. Common sense says that steel, metal gets hot and expands. That this is 101. This is shit you learn when you're 8 years old. But some engineer couldn't figure it out when they built the bridge. Isn't that just great?
Highway 133 bridge in Pickens County has collapsed. As far as I know, that makes 3 bridges in Pickens County that are unusable. 2 that are down for maintenance and reconstruction, and 1 that has collapsed. This just makes the bottlenecks around here even worse. The collapsing of this bridge is making me question the inspection processes and bridge maintenance around here in Pickens County. Our roads are horrible around here anyway. One of the roads that I took a video of actually got repaired. It actually got fixed again, and that was great. Another thing I'd like to know is where's all the tax dollars going that we're paying in as citizens to fix and maintain these roads and bridges, and it seems like nothing's getting done. Seems like somebody is dropping the ball on the situation.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, a few years back, our state raised our titling, our other fees, plate fees. I mean, they just skyrocketed. I mean, we're talking like 20, 30 bucks. All of a sudden, it's over $100. Registering and titling a vehicle in my state has gotten to be a financial, I mean, take out a mortgage kind of thing. The taxes that we pay and all this money going for crap that we don't want, we never agreed to, all because we're corporate ran. I mean, businesses run America, not us public anymore. Been like that a long time, and it's really sickening already. You know, this is an AI. This actually happened. Imagine that. This actually happened.
He slammed the brakes as the road ahead dissolved into thin air. A massive freighter erased the bridge, sending 35 people screaming into the abyss. He survived, but the others were swallowed by the ocean.
Here's why I worry about the Brooklyn Bridge collapsing. It has a weight limit of 3 tons, which is 6,000 pounds, and that is completely ignored. Trucks and SUVs beyond that weight drive over it God knows how often every day. So back in the day, the only vehicles that were over 6,000 pounds were commercial vehicles, but trucks and SUVs are so much bigger than they used to be. A Nissan Armada, 8,500 pounds. Lincoln Navigator, GMC Yukon XL, the list goes on. These weight limits ensure safety and structural integrity. And remember, this is a 155-year-old bridge. It was intended for this, not this. Obviously, that doesn't mean that if a large truck goes over it, the bridge is going to collapse. But it does call into question whether or not engineers who maintain the bridge are testing its structural integrity under the weight of these massive trucks. And if so, why does the New York City Department of Transportation still say it has a 3-ton weight limit? I don't know. Maybe this fear is completely silly and irrational, although considering the West Side Highway collapsed back in the 70s because a heavy dump truck carrying 9 tons of asphalt went over it, maybe my fear isn't so crazy.
No, I would say not. Our fears are not crazy whatsoever. Once again, we're talking about New York here. We've got somebody there who's trying to give away the world of freebies. You know, something that the Democrats do. Spend, spend, spend. Who gives a shit where the money comes from? We'll just borrow more. Doesn't make a difference that we're on our 4th time being downgraded for credit throughout the world. We're in deep trouble here. I don't know if you quite realize this or not. The Iran war itself really has less to do with nuclear weapons than what it does with the petrodollar, because Iran was starting to trade in yen and ruble. So we're there for a little bit more reason than what our government is lying to us about again. But our infrastructure throughout the United States, some of it is really old. And just like the shuttle, they just keep on saying, oh yeah, nothing to see here. Don't look. Just like the condos in Florida, just like the condos in California that collapsed. Let's not worry about it. Let's just shore it up and fill in the cracks with a little bit of mortar. Yeah, that'll fix her. You know, we're seeing a lot more damage due to storms, heavy winds, heavy rains. Just seen a video the other day at, New York. They got so much rain in such short a time that the streets were flooded out. And I mean, they were flooded out. Holy balls. Never underestimate water. Never underestimate water. Man, can you imagine that? Just, once again, being on that bridge, thing collapses out. Holy man. Next time you're driving on down the road, just keep that in mind. Boy, I tell you, you get into a situation like that, you are screwed, glued, and tattooed and dead. And the people who should be paying for this, the people that are and should be blamed, they're just scot-free. Nothing ever happens to them. Nothing ever happens to people in politics who get caught doing anything. Same thing, roads degrade. People who are responsible for it, oh my God, it must be Santa Claus's fault. Well, anyways, throw a guy a like or something, comment, take your dog for a walk, dance the jig, but we'll catch you on the next one.